It's kind of strange. We live in this incredible world of biohacks, productivity apps, and all this tech, yet we seem to be more anxious than ever. We're constantly trying to think our way out of problems that maybe, just maybe, don't even start in our heads. So what if the most powerful tools for calming our minds aren't in some new app, but have been hiding in plain sight for thousands of years?
Let me tell you about a guy named John. John's a high-powered attorney, and our source material paints this picture of him walking into his therapist's office just vibrating with anxiety. He lives completely in his head, treating his body like it's just a taxi for his brain. And he wants a quick fix, a hack, a line of code to debug his mind. But the solution he gets is, well, it's surprisingly old school.
And that really is the big question we're digging into today. For the last century or so, we've tried to talk our way through our suffering. But what if ancient traditions knew something we've kind of forgotten? That the mind and body aren't these separate things. That the key to mental calm might actually be found in our own physical plumbing.
Okay, so to really get how this works, we need to get just a little bit clinical for a moment. We need to look at the biological bridge that connects that feeling in your chest with the thoughts racing in your head.
It's called the vagus nerve. And the name actually comes from the Latin word for wandering, which is perfect because it literally wanders all the way from the base of your brain down through your heart, your lungs, your gut. It's this massive superhighway of information, constantly sending signals back and forth, telling your brain whether you're safe or whether you're in danger. So your nervous system is doing this constant balancing act. When you're stressed out, your sympathetic system just kicks into high gear. That's your classic fight or flight response. Your heart races, your breath gets shallow, and that vagus nerve superhighway, it goes pretty quiet. But, and this is the key, when you do something slow and rhythmic, you can manually turn on your parasympathetic system. That's the rest and digest state. You're basically sending a message from your body up that highway to your brain that says, hey, we're okay down here. You can stand down. Now this is where it gets really fascinating. It turns out that ancient cultures all over the world who had no idea what an MRI was, no modern science, they all stumbled upon different ways to activate this exact same biological system. So we're going to look at 3 practices that on the surface seem totally unrelated. But as you're about to see, they are all at their core incredibly sophisticated neurological tools. And they're all designed to do one thing, calm the nervous system right down.
All right, let's start with our first example, the rosary. Now, we're not going to look at this from a theological angle, but a purely biological one. Think about it. The repetitive feel of the beads in your hand gives you a physical anchor, while the rhythmic chanting forces your body into this slow, steady dance.
And get this, back in 2001, a study at the University of Pavia found that when people recite the Hail Mary prayer, their breathing naturally slows to almost exactly 6 breaths per minute. And that is not some random number. That, my friends, is a physiological cheat code. See, that number, 6 breaths per minute, is what scientists call the resonance frequency for the human body. It is the absolute sweet spot where your heart, your lungs, your whole cardiovascular system just syncs up. It maximizes efficiency and creates this profound state of calm. The Desert Fathers in the 3rd century knew this intuitively when they used prayer ropes to anchor a mind that just wanted to wander. Okay, so we've talked about the metronome. Now let's switch gears to the tuning fork. In Hindu and Buddhist traditions, when you chant a mantra, it's not just about saying words. It's about creating a physical vibration in your body. I mean, the word itself tells you everything you need to know. It comes from the Sanskrit roots manas, which means mind, and tra, which means tool. It is, quite literally, a mind tool. It's an instrument designed to pull you out of the frantic chatter inside your own skull. That physical vibration you feel in your chest and your throat, it directly stimulates branches of the vagus nerve. For people who are living with what you could call the noise of trauma in their bodies, a mantra provides an ordered noise. It doesn't just silence the chaos, it gives it a new, calmer rhythm to follow. And our third piece of technology takes us to the Americas. In a lot of Native American traditions, the drum isn't just an instrument. They call it the heartbeat of the mother. And this is about a really powerful physical phenomenon. It's a concept called entrainment. It's pretty simple. When your body is exposed to a powerful, steady rhythm, like a tribal drum, your own internal rhythms, like your heart, your breathing, even your brain waves, they start to sync up with it. They can't help it. And the chanting that often goes with it, that bypasses the logical, analytical part of your brain and speaks directly to your emotional center. So when you lay it all out like this, you start to see what the source material calls the perennial psychophysics. You've got different tools, different traditions from all over the world,
but they're all targeting the exact same biological hardware through rhythmic pacing, physical vibration, and entrainment.
Okay, so this is all really cool, but how does any of this help you when you're stuck in traffic and about to absolutely lose your mind? Well, this is where we get practical. This is about building a kind of physiological muscle.
And that muscle is called your vagal tone. And just like any other muscle in your body, you can actually strengthen it with practice. The stronger your vagal tone is, the better and faster your body gets at switching from that panicked fight or flight mode back to the calm, rest, and digest state. You literally become more resilient to stress. Think about it like this. The stressor is the same, right? Someone cuts you off in traffic. Now, if you have low vagal tone, you might stew in that anger all day long. It ruins your whole afternoon. But if you have high vagal tone, you still feel that spike of anger. Of course you do. You're human. But your body's training kicks in, and it brings you back down to your baseline much, much faster.
And this, for me, is the most empowering part of this whole idea. Most of us just can't stop anxious thoughts on command. It feels impossible. But you can control your breathing. You can control what your hands are doing. By using a physical anchor, you can basically bypass the chaotic mind and speak directly to the body in a language it understands.
So what happened to John, our anxious lawyer? Well, he didn't have some sudden, life-changing spiritual awakening. It was much smaller than that. He just started carrying a small stone in his pocket, and during stressful meetings, he'd just thumb the stone and repeat a simple phrase to himself. He found a tiny, practical way to build his vagal tone. He didn't stop feeling stress, but he did stop being controlled by it.
And that really brings us full circle. Whether it's a nun with her prayer beads, a monk with his chant, or a medicine man with his drum. The language, the culture, it's all different, but the biology is universal. Beneath the surface, they all found a way to tune into the body's ancient built-in song of peace. The only question is, in our noisy, modern world, are we ready to start listening?